You're watching Alabama Broadcasters Station of the Year. Coverage you can count on. WAAY 31 Morning News starts now.
We are taking a live look above Muscle Shoals. A dreary morning out there, but the temperature is starting to drop. WAAY 31's Grace Sandello standing by with your weekend outlook. Plus, RSV spreading across the country. Some hospitals struggling to keep up with the number of patients. And an Alabama veteran receiving one of the military's highest honors. The Medal Corporal Jack Riley received 55 years after his service. Good morning and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Olivia Schuler. Well, I made the promise and we're going to go right back on over to WAAY 31 meteorologist Grace Sandello. She's in the Storm Tracker Weather Center. And Grace, we know it's a little rainy out there right now, but you talked a lot about these cold temperatures coming in.
Exactly. So it is raining right now, and the primary forcing, which is basically the driving force behind today's rain, is a cold front. So as we continue to see more rain come through the region, we're going to continue to see those temperatures drop. And we do have scattered showers all around North Alabama. Now we're looking quite foggy over Lake Guntersville. This is not a camera malfunction. This is just fog that is reaching all the way up to our camera first thing this morning. You can even see some sprinkles there in Muscle Shoals on that camera as well. Well, we're actually one of the warmer temperatures that we will be for the day. So if you like the warm and you're up at this hour, well, soak it up now because it's not going to last for too long. We're at 53 degrees in Huntsville, 52 in Decatur. Good morning to you. Muscle Shoals, you're at 45 degrees, and in Scottsboro, you're at 57. So, of course, that line of the front, you can tell, has just passed through Muscle Shoals, but it's not made its way into the rest of North Alabama or southern Tennessee. Well, once we get through the rest of the breakfast time hour, rain chances do stay low for us. What will accumulate today is anywhere between a quarter of an inch and 1 inch of rain. So it's not going to be an all-out washout, but we are going to have brief periods of heavy rain this morning. The good news is that gets out of our way before too long, so don't go canceling your weekend plans just yet. Well, the rest of November is looking like it's going to be on the chilly side for us. North Alabama and southern Tennessee are tracking colder than average for almost the entire rest of the month. I'll walk you through how long the rain lasts today and how long you'll need that jacket coming up.
Happening now, a death investigation is underway in Lawrence County. It happened in Hatton Wednesday night. The sheriff's office says a mother shot her own son in the leg to stop him from beating his brother with a baseball bat. The wounded man was taken to the hospital and released that night. When authorities went to arrest the man for the assault on Thursday, they found him unresponsive. He was later pronounced dead. And a Franklin County man is locked up after his arrest for child sex crimes. Red Bay police made the arrest this week after responding to a child who was examined in the hospital. Investigators then questioned and arrested 26-year-old John Howard Scott. He's charged with rape, sodomy, and sexual abuse. His bond is set at $200,000. Two teens are dead after a wreck in Marshall County. Michael Finley and Tori Smith died when the SUV they were in left the road and hit a tree. Both were 18 years old. It happened on Merrill Mountain Road in Grant around 11:45 Thursday night. State troopers are investigating. 3 Susan Moore high school students are dead after a wreck in Coleman County. The county coroner confirmed 15-year-old Caden Britt, 15-year-old Evan McGanna, and 16-year-old Dalian Jennings died in the crash. It happened on Alabama 91 near Coleman County Road 549 early Friday morning. Another student was injured. The cause is still under investigation. RSV is surging. A brand new study shows a grim reality. 1 in 50 deaths of otherwise healthy children under the age of 5 around the world is due to the common virus. WAAY 31's Matt Kroschel has the latest on the virus that's proven to be hard to keep from spreading.
RSV responsible for 1 in 56 babies who are born on time and are healthy in high-income countries like the U.S. being hospitalized in the first year of life. That is according to researchers. The virus can be especially dangerous for premature babies and babies with other medical issues. Those researchers reported this week in the journal Lancet Respiratory Medicine.
He was grunting and making a lot of noises when he was breathing. So we knew he was having some trouble. This is the first time in 3 days he's had food, and he kept it down.
The new study, one of the first to look at the numbers in otherwise healthy kids.
A lot of people who think that the increases that are happening now are because there's been a lack of exposure over the last couple of years.
Globally, RSV, the second leading cause of death during the first year in a child's life. That's right after malaria. Between 100 and 200,000 babies die from the virus every year. Matt Kroschel, WAAY 31 News.
As you know, RSV isn't the only health concern right now. According to the CDC, Alabama has a very high level of flu activity. The state health department says 4 people died from it so far this season, including a child. Meanwhile, a record number of updated COVID-19 boosters were administered last week, about 5 million doses. That's the highest number since January. But Americans are being advised to get a COVID-19 booster shot before Thanksgiving if they haven't. Health officials say they are concerned about a potential surge of respiratory illnesses during the end of the year and the holiday season. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention says less than 10% of the country has gotten the latest dose. One Alabama veteran received one of the highest military honors, the Silver Star Medal. The Silver Star Medal is the third highest military honor. Corporal Riley served in the Marine Corps and fought on one of the Marines' most historic battles, the Battle of Gatlin's Corner in 1967. The battle only lasted 6 hours, but 15 Marines died and 47 were wounded. The battle is historic because no other battle that lasted such a short amount of time resulted in the 3 of the nation's highest decorations for valor. That's including the Silver Star Medal. Corporal Riley says it's an honor to receive the award, but his thoughts are with his brothers who didn't make it.
To all of you Marines that are here tonight from India Company 39, man, what we went through and the fact that we all actually made it when so many of our brothers didn't.
Marine Corps General Eric Smith presented the medal, a medal that he said was 55 years past due. NASA says they are still a go for a scheduled launch attempt of the Artemis 1 Mega Moon rocket next week. Teams at Kennedy Space Center inspected the SLS after the rocket withstood hurricane force gusts on the launch pad. NASA Associate Minister Jim Free told reporters that winds from Hurricane Nicole never exceeded the rocket's design limits. Their survey shows only minor issues, which technicians are repairing. The uncrewed Artemis 1 mission is scheduled for liftoff just after midnight Central Time next Wednesday morning.
Well, 6:07 on your Saturday morning. The WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network is already starting to show us some sprinkles and some showers in North Alabama and southern Tennessee. All of this comes to us as the cold front is preparing to move through our area. Take a look at Montesano right now, looking over Huntsville. We are looking beautiful, a bit foggy, and the sun not fully awake with us yet, but conditions are going to be, well, okay for this morning. You can take a look at our wind speeds here. We're seeing our strongest wind in northwestern counties, including in the shoals, coming out of the northwest there at about 15 to 20 miles an hour. Now, some of us in the Sand Mountain area, now you are only seeing about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Well, we talked about a cold front moving through. This is just ahead of that cold front. You can also see the front here on our temperatures. That's just preparing to push through North Alabama and southern Tennessee, and it's going to bring a sprinkle or two of rain to our region as it does come. Now, our temperatures are going to start to gradually cool. We're at 55 degrees in Guntersville, 57 in Scottsboro, but areas where that front has already moved into, such as Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, 39 degrees, as well as in Muscle Shoals, you're at 45. So expect as the day continues that we'll actually get much cooler this morning, and then we will stay in those cooler temperatures. By the time we get to 8 a.m., we're talking about 44 degrees, and by 9 a.m., it's 42. Now, our rain chances are persistent with our breakfast time hour, but just after we finish breakfast time, most of those will be out of our way and conditions will be dry for the rest of your Saturday. I'll walk you through everything you need to know for your football forecast, the rest of your weekend, and your 7-day, all coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Grace, thanks so much. Well, 2 Salvation Army majors devoting their lives to serving, the holiday wish they have for kids in North Alabama. And devastating damage to Florida's coast, how the state is grappling after mass destruction by the powerful storm.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching WAAY 31 News with the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
Coming up on GMA, the latest developments on the remnants of Hurricane Nicole. Heavy rain causing flooding in parts of the east and sparking tornado warnings overnight. Where the storm system is headed next, our weather team is tracking it all. Also this morning, Alec Baldwin now filing a lawsuit over last year's fatal shooting on the set of Rust, who he is accusing for the loaded gun on set, as so many questions still remain unanswered. And Inflation Nation. After this week's inflation report, used car prices have taken a dip. What you need to know about the right time to buy, it is all ahead right here on GMA. It's people that sprinkle magic into the holiday season, some choosing to give rather than receive. Here's a couple devoting their life to serving others.
Put the girls in one stack.
Major Mark Smith and his wife, Major Shafana Smith, work around the clock for the Salvation Army.
You get to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. We get to reach people. We get to help people in crisis, help people in need, and help them get their life back.
Major Smith says his passion to serve others all started by a simple gesture when he was a child.
One Christmas, I was called downstairs and there were 2 gifts. I still remember those gifts. G.I. Joe doll and Marine uniform and an easy bake oven.
An unexpected token of Christmas joy found under his family's tree.
When I was a child, we did not have any money. We were poor. Christmas was not always a happy time.
Smith says he grew up in an Irish Catholic slum in Philadelphia, where Christmas cheer was more of a wish than a reality. He later learned those toys from his Christmas memory his mother got from a local Salvation Army.
It's probably one of the things that drove me to do what I'm doing today.
A simple gift meant so much. It triggered a desire to give back to the Salvation Army, a service his family once depended on. Him and his wife going on 37 years of being officers.
We met at the training college for officers in the Salvation Army. We were commissioned as officers, and 7 months after that we were married and started our lifelong journey.
That lifelong commitment has carried the couple around the country on different assignments. Right now, based at the Salvation Army in Huntsville, where they're supporting families well beyond the holiday season.
It's been a beautiful thing, and I don't regret a second of it.
This holiday season, there are many ways you can help families in need. You'll find the Salvation Army's Angel Tree at Parkway Place Mall. There you can take an angel and purchase a gift for a child. And soon, you'll also hear those bells ringing. The Salvation Army Bell Ringers will be raising money for those in need at some local shops. We also have a link on our website, waaytv.com, to donate. Grocery prices are still climbing. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, food was 0.6% more expensive in the month of October compared to September. Since the beginning of the year, grocery prices have jumped 12.4%. Restaurant prices have jumped 8.6%. That's the biggest increases we've seen, and the biggest increases that we have seen have been in the dairy aisle. Throughout the year, eggs jumped a whopping 43%. And the U.S. monthly budget deficit dropped to $88 billion in October, and that's 47% lower than a year ago. America's debt levels are still elevated and will likely climb amid rising interest rates. And home prices across the U.S. rose this summer, even though the housing market was cooling. That's according to a new report by the National Association of Realtors. It tracked home prices in 185 cities over the summer and found prices increased in all but 4 cities. The price jumps have since slowed substantially due to the rise in mortgage rates. The threat from what was once a Hurricane Nicole is not over as we get a better view of what's being called unprecedented damage along the eastern Florida coastline. The storm is blamed for at least 5 deaths. Mike Valerio brings us the latest.
In the aftermath of what was once Hurricane Nicole, stunning scenes of dream homes collapsed onto the beach below. Some swept far out to sea.
I don't know. Honestly, just kind of shocked, so still haven't really processed it.
At least 5 are dead, with police in Cocoa, Florida confirming 1 man lost his life after first responders tried to rescue him here. The man and his wife on their battered yacht during the height of the storm. The path of destruction is sweeping. Homes are seen teetering, and some seawalls that started washing away during Hurricane Ian gave way during Nicole.
I was hoping it would be a little bit better of a sight. I was hoping that just the 2 back bedrooms fell this morning, but it tore out the living room walls and the ceiling.
About 50 beachfront buildings, including 24 condos and hotels, are now deemed unsafe in the Daytona Beach area. The county manager saying the structural damage along the coastline is unprecedented. Homeowners dazed at the destruction.
It's just, it just almost doesn't seem real to see all this, even though it's a possibility living here.
After Nicole became a tropical depression, tornado watches extended from the Carolinas into Virginia. This as Florida assesses the remaining risk from this rare November storm. I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
Weather coverage you can count on with meteorologist Grace Anello and the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
6:18 on your Saturday morning, and unfortunately we're starting off a little bit on the soggy end. We do have some scattered showers all across North Alabama and southern Tennessee. Some more expected to come to us by breakfast time, but don't worry, they're not going to stay here all day. Take a look at each of our sky camera networks this morning. We're seeing plenty of rain in the Shoals as well as in Gunnersville. The rest of us are just waking up to a cloudy and kind of dreary morning as the sun does start to rise, but there is hope. I'm not going to let you go without a little bit of hope. All right, well, all this rain is coming to us ahead of a cold front, and you can actually see the frontal boundary right here with our temperature map. So areas that have not yet experienced the cold front moving through, like Guntersville, you're at 55 degrees. Huntsville, you're at 53 degrees this morning. But some of us in our northwestern counties that have, well, you're feeling a little bit chilly. We're talking about 39 degrees in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, and 45 over in the Shoals. So as we head through the rest of the morning, rather than warming through the day, what you can actually expect is us to cool through the morning and into the rest of the day. Now, this is telling us where our temperatures that we just saw are compared to our temperatures 24 hours ago. So this exact time yesterday, we're 20 degrees cooler in Lawrenceburg, 19 degrees cooler over in the Shoals. Even Huntsville, you're 13 degrees cooler than where we were just yesterday. So yes, if you're waking up this morning with a twinge of a headache or a little bit of a stuffy nose, well, that's because the barometric pressure is changing and changing rapidly, and it all has to do with this weather. But the good news is you're not getting sick, so that's a plus. As we head through the rest of the morning, we will have those rain chances stay with us. By the time we get to 8 a.m., temperatures will be in the mid-40s, and then just shortly thereafter, we're talking about the low 40s at 9 a.m. So if you're having coffee outside then, well, you might want to bring a jacket with you. But the good news is this rain is not going to last long. I'll walk you through the timing of all of it. So the front is starting in our western counties. This is just about now at 6:30. Now it is going to push through the rest of the region. It's going to impact downtown Huntsville and the I-65 corridor around 8 or 8:30 this morning. By the time we get to 9 a.m., it's mostly southeast of Guntersville into DeKalb County, and then by the time we get to 11 a.m., it's almost completely out of our way. Now we are left with some cloud cover, but by the time we get to later this afternoon, I'm expecting some of that to dissipate, and we'll have a little bit more sun in our forecast. Our high temperature for today is actually 46 degrees, so we will be significantly cooler than many of us are right now, and we will have a powerful breeze, coming out of the northwest at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Well, this evening sure will be a chilly one. By the time we get to 9 p.m., temperatures are in the upper 30s. That's right, you heard that correctly, and we will be awfully cold. Your overnight low temperature tonight, 27 degrees. So that means when you wake up tomorrow morning, conditions will be in the low 30s for you. Well, we will have more sun on our Sunday forecast, but conditions are almost near as cold. We're talking about upper 40s for our high, upper 20s for our low first thing on Monday morning. We rebound to the 50s for just a few days, and then it's back to the 40s we go. But hey, if you have any outdoor pets or plants this weekend, make sure you go ahead and bring those inside so they can stay safe and warm.
All right, Grace, seems like winter is creeping in finally. Well, it is the weekend, and there are so many events going on across the Rocket City. We'll tell you more about them coming up next. Happening today, families in need can receive some help in Huntsville. Refugee Church and One Generation Away, Huntsville City Schools, and other local community partners are giving away 400 free turkeys and a week's worth of free groceries to 400 local families. The mobile food pantry will start at 9 o'clock at Milton Frank Stadium. Food will be distributed on a first-come, first-served basis. And vinyl window manufacturer Kuzo Millwork will be distributing free groceries today. It starts at 9 a.m. at the DeKalb County VFW Fairgrounds in Fort Payne. Each car will get a cart of food. It's all first-come, first-served basis. And over in Limestone County Churches Involved is hosting its annual Stuff a Truck event. It will run from 8 until 4 in the afternoon at the First National Bank on the corner of US 72 and Lindsay Lane. Items needed include canned goods, toilet paper, and small stocking gifts for kids. And Habitat for Humanity is hosting a wall raising launch event today. The organization is starting construction on a new home for a Huntsville family. Volunteers can lend a helping hand. It all starts at 8 o'clock this morning. And veterans can get a free breakfast this morning. Alabama AMVETS Post 21 will be serving food starting at 7 o'clock this morning, so in just about a half hour. The public is welcome to go. They have to, if others go, they're welcome to. They just have to pay $6. RSV and flu cases are on the rise. How many cases the CDC is now reporting?
You're watching Alabama Broadcasters Station of the Year. Coverage you can count on. WAAY 31 Morning News starts now.
Good morning, everybody. You're taking a live look above Muscle Shoals. A little rainy and dreary, but the temperatures are starting to drop. You may be excited about that or not. We have WAAY 31's Grace Anello standing by with what you need to know before heading out the door this weekend. Plus, RSV spreading across the country. Some hospitals struggling to keep up with the number of patients they're seeing. And soon the bells will be ringing. The fundraising efforts of Salvation Army is expanding on this holiday season. Good morning and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Olivia Schuler. Well, we're going to get on over to WAAY 31 meteorologist Grace Anello. She's on the Storm Tracker Weather Center. And Grace, we just saw a little glimpse of some of that rain, but it's not lasting too long, right?
That's right. So don't go canceling all your weekend plans just yet. And don't get too mad at your meteorologist. It's all going to be okay, I promise. We are seeing a little bit of rain this morning on the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network. We just had a cell pop up over Huntsville, so if you're waking up in the metro, you are hearing, some rain outside. What we can expect for the day, anywhere between 1/4 of an inch and 1 inch of rain. But here's the best part of the whole news. It does not last all day. By the time we get just a little bit later on, we will be dry. Our temperatures right now, here's the deal. Warmer for many of us than we're going to be for the rest of the day. The shoals has already had the impact of a cold front that's moving through, so they're a little bit cooler. So we're hanging on to our warm temps in Huntsville and Decatur, talking 53 and 52 respectively. Good morning to both of you. And in Scottsboro, you're at 57 degrees. Now Muscle Shoals, you are at 45 as a cold front has just moved into your region. So this is just above the boundary line. Right now, the cold front is just about to start passing over the I-65 corridor. This map is showing us where our temperatures right now that we just talked about are compared to where they were just 24 hours ago, this exact time yesterday. So we're 19 degrees cooler than we were at this time yesterday in the Shoals, 13 degrees cooler in Huntsville and Decatur, you're 12 degrees cooler. So if you're waking up this morning and you have a little headache or a little sniffle, well, that's because the barometric pressure is dropping, and well, you can thank the weather for that. The good news is you're not actually getting sick. All right, well, we will have a rainy morning, but we'll clear up a little bit later on, and I'm tracking a powerful cold front that's going to plummet temperatures for several days. I'll let you know everything you need to expect and map out the rest of your weekend for you coming up.
Happening now, a death investigation is underway in Lawrence County. It happened in Hatton on Wednesday night. The sheriff's office says a mother shot her own son in the leg to stop him from beating his brother with a baseball bat. The wounded man was taken to the hospital and released that night. When authorities went to arrest the man for the assault on Thursday, they found him unresponsive. He was later pronounced dead. A Franklin County man is locked up after his arrest for child sex crimes. Red Bay police made the arrest this week after responding to a child who was examined in the hospital. Investigators then questioned and arrested 26-year-old John Howard Scott. He's charged with rape, sodomy, and sexual abuse. His bond is set at $200,000. Pediatric wards continue to be overwhelmed as an early surge of respiratory illnesses continue to spread. The CDC reports more than 3 million cases of flu this year. Those numbers include 23,000 hospitalizations and 1,300 deaths. 4 of those were here in Alabama. Currently, Alabama is one of the 7 states with very high levels of flu activity. The levels of hospitalization nationwide has not reached levels this high in a decade.
There's a lot of people who think that the increases that are happening now are because there's been a lack of exposure over the last couple of years.
Pediatric beds have been filled to 78% capacity across the nation. Levels have not been seen like that in over 2 years. Health leaders are urging folks to get their flu shot to prevent a surge of cases around the holidays. The CDC says Alabama has one of the highest flu level activity in the country. 4 Alabamians have died because of the virus this flu season. Doctors say without pandemic safety measures like wearing a mask, the flu shot may be our only main defense.
Now we're starting to see all the households. If one person gets it in the house, it pretty much goes to everybody else. So protect yourself, protect your household, protect your community. That's a good thing to do. Wait, what's the excuse not to do it?
The Alabama Department of Public Health says almost 12% of flu tests are coming back positive right now. Across the country, more than 20,000 people are in the hospitals this morning with the flu. 1,300 people have died. Former President Trump is still planning to make a very big announcement next Tuesday. This as the investigation into his handling of presidential records continues. A trial judge ordered a special master to inspect the thousands of documents taken from Trump's Florida resort. Trump says they are, quote, presumptively his personal property under the Presidential Records Act. The appeals court is reviewing the Justice Department's challenge of the special master review. Americans are feeling worse about the U.S. economy. A survey by the University of Michigan found that consumer sentiment fell to less than 55% this month. The Fed is closely watching for shifts in consumer expectations. If consumers believe prices will remain high, that could factor into increased wage demands, which in turn could cause businesses to raise prices. Well, new car prices are actually finally coming down. Analysts say cars are still mostly selling for more than the manufacturer's sticker price, but not as high as they were previously. According to Edmunds, for the first half of the year, car prices averaged $700 over the sticker price. Now that's dropped to $230 over the sticker price. Well, you'll soon see those Salvation Army bell ringers out and about raising money for people in need. But in a year where the need is bigger, you may not see as many of those bell ringers. WAAY 31's Megan Reyna with how you can still give this holiday season.
People say when they hear the red kettle, the bell ringing, they know it's really Christmas.
Every cent, every dollar put inside these kettles helps our neighbors who oftentimes are forgotten.
It's hard for any of us to ask for help.
And even in one of the most booming areas in Alabama.
With growth and prosperity also comes growth of need.
The Salvation Army remains busy.
It's getting harder and harder for people to make it. 61% of Americans live from paycheck to paycheck. Think about that, 61%.
The Red Kettle Campaign is what funds this organization year-round. Programs that feed families, help pay utility bills, and provide emergency shelter.
We meet people and families from all different walks of life.
But you may notice less kettles around town.
COVID really hurt because we couldn't put the kettles out during COVID, and coming back after that, it's just been harder to get people.
To make up for the lack of bell ringers, the Salvation Army is launching an online campaign. After all, it's not about the sound of a bell, but the gift you're giving.
The Salvation Army is a safe place, and it's a place where they leave knowing that, yes, my need will be met here.
Megan Reyna, WAAY 31 News.
We're going to head over now to WAAY 31's Grace Anello with our 7th day and with what we can expect this week.
Yeah, Olivia, well, we're off to a bit of a dreary start for our Saturday, but it's not going to stay that way for too long. 6:39 right now, and our WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network is starting to show some showers. Now, our heaviest concentration of rain is still in the shoals. I'll tell you why that is in just a second. We're also waking up this morning to some dense fog in several of our areas, including southeastern North Alabama. Sorry, these are portions of our county. So Gunnersville, you're looking at just over a mile and a half of visibility. Gadsden, you're at under a half a mile. And in Scottsboro, you are at 7 miles. Now the shoals, the same thing can be said for you, 2.5 miles of visibility there. And we can see this demonstrated right here on our Lake Gunnersville camera. This is not a camera malfunction. This is just how dense the fog is. And you can even see some sprinkles of rain on the camera as well. So not the sunny morning that we were hoping to wake up to, but it will be a peaceful and calm start to your Saturday. So just take it in and enjoy it while it's here, because I promise you it's not going to last all day. Well, our temperatures right now, we're still warm in Huntsville and Decatur, talking 53 and 52 degrees respectively, 57 in Scottsboro. Now Muscle Shoals, a cold front has started to move through your region. You're at 41 degrees. Now take a look at this cold front. It's right ahead of these showers, and it's bringing actually snow to some of Kentucky's counties as well as some of northern Tennessee's. Now we will not see any snow today, but it is going to bring rain into our region for much of the rest of the morning. I'm going to walk you through the track of this system and tell you how long this cold front, is going to impact us coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Lawmakers in Tennessee have introduced a bill that could make some drag shows in the state illegal. What the bill's sponsor is now saying.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching WAAY 31 News with the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
Well, you probably know what time it is. Many animals call Lake Gunnersville home. Perhaps the most majestic, though, is the bald eagle. Marshall County man is documenting all the bald eagles he can find. Here's Luke Hydash with this week's Alabama Original.
There were several geese this morning that come flying out of here.
It's not geese John Pate is looking for.
There's no telling where they went. When they're in a tree, they're really difficult to see.
They're just magnificent. They're beautiful birds, you know, with the big white heads and the big white tails and all.
The sky is his canvas, his camera, the paintbrush, our nation's bird, the subject. And the finished portraits.
I take a lot of pictures. I'll take anywhere from 10,000, 20,000 photos a year.
John and his wife Lisa spend just about every weekend on the water. He's retired from the Army Civilian Corps, and the patriotism of his decades-long commitment to his country now shines in a different light.
Usually that white head, if it's a mature one, you can see it with the sun shining on it from, you know, at least a half mile away.
Pate's traveled the state looking for the best places to find these once hard-to-find majestic creatures. The once near-extinct bird's population is thriving once again, and the top spot to spot right here, at home.
The Guntersville's by far got more eagles than any lake in Alabama, that's for sure. Look, oh, he's going to the water. Oh, golly, that's fabulous.
With an Alabama original on Lake Guntersville. I'm WAAY. WAAY 31 News.
You may soon see more eagles on Lake Guntersville. It is almost mating season and more birds should be born in February. You can find this and all Luke's Alabama Originals on our website, WAAYTV.com. Actor and producer Alec Baldwin filed a lawsuit in connection with the fatal shooting on the Rust movie set on Friday. The lawsuit filed in Los Angeles is the first legal action in which Baldwin alleges wrongdoing against someone related to the tragedy. Baldwin filed the cross-complaint against several crew members. Baldwin's lawsuit blames the crew members for irresponsibly allowing live bullets on the set. The actor and producer on the film is seeking punitive damages as well as other legal expenses. Public drag shows could soon be banned in Tennessee. A state lawmaker introduced a bill that would make it illegal for sexually explicit adult entertainment shows, including drag, to take place where children could see it. The bill's sponsor says this is about protecting kids.
Constituents, I know my colleagues up here have heard from constituents outraged. You take your kid to the park to play on the swing set, and then across the way, there's an adult-themed, sexually explicit drag show taking place. Well, that's unacceptable.
If the bill becomes a law, a first-time offense would be a misdemeanor. Repeat violators could face felony charges. Hurricane Nicole left a trail of destruction in Florida, making its way up the East Coast, causing all sorts of problems for people, including flooding and power outages. ABC's Kristen Sloan has more.
The East Coast, people cleaning up after the remnants of Hurricane Nicole. The storm causing tornado sirens to sound in Richmond, Virginia.
Oh boy, look right here at the lightning strikes. Those lightning strikes really cycling up northeast of Templeton.
In Boone, North Carolina, heavy rain flooding roads. Further north in Philadelphia, travel delays and flight cancellations.
We actually had to rebook our flight because of the storm.
ABC meteorologist Rob Marciano says once the heavy rain clears out, parts of the country will experience cold weather.
Some heavy rain moving through western parts of Pennsylvania and New York and upstate New York, so we could see some more isolated flooding. And then behind this thing, once it does clear out, we look for colder air, much colder air, to roll in behind this.
Nicole made landfall early Thursday south of Daytona Beach, Florida, as a rare November Category 1 hurricane. The storm destroying coastlines, dozens of homes and hotels crumbling to pieces or left dangling and uninhabitable. Climate scientists say rising seas are making coastal floods flow ever deeper inland, making once-in-a-century incidents like this almost yearly in some areas.
The structural damage along our coastline is unprecedented. We've never experienced anything like this before.
Christine Sloan, ABC News, New York.
Weather coverage you can count on with meteorologist Grace Anello and the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
Well, we're starting off the morning a bit on the soggy end. We do have some rain on the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network, 6:49, and well, we are feeling a little bit rainy. This all comes to us just ahead of a cold front. Now, we're also waking up a touch foggy, and this is affecting visibility in several of our areas. We're talking about 2.5 miles of visibility in Guntersville, looking at just over 1.5 miles in Coleman. In the Shoals, you're talking about 4 miles of visibility. So if you are getting out on the road first thing this morning, make sure you leave a little bit of extra time so that you can arrive at your destination safely. We'll take a look at Muscle Shoals right now. We are seeing some rain on our Sky Camera network, powered by Thompson Roofing and Construction. This is because the front is just starting to pass through the Shoals. And you can see this front perfectly here on our temperature map. So obviously that's where the blue is, and it is going to move through North Alabama and southern Tennessee as we head through the early part of this morning. So our areas that have not yet been touched by the front, Huntsville, you're at 53 degrees. Good morning to you. 55 in Guntersville, 52 in Coleman. But some of us who have already experienced that cold front moving through, you are significantly getting colder. We're talking about 42 in the Shoals, 39 in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. So areas that are experiencing that cold front, well, you'll be cooling through the morning and into this afternoon. Our high temperature today is actually much lower than what some of us are feeling right now. All right, let's walk through the timing of this rain. This puts us at 7 o'clock this morning, and much of it has pushed north and east. By the time we get to 8:30, we do introduce rain, especially in the metro along the I-65 corridor, and pushing south and east in some of our southern counties, including Coleman. By the time we get to 10:30, 11 a.m., this is pushing east into Georgia, and we're left with just cloud cover here in North Alabama and southern Tennessee. Well, it is Saturday, and this is the South, which means one thing. It's time for our Saturday in the South rolling on the field forecast, and the weather, believe it or not, calling on the field, it is good. We will dry out shortly after breakfast time as we head into lunch. We will have just a little bit of cloud cover. If you have a 3 o'clock game, our high temperature today will be in the mid-40s. That's right, you heard that correctly. And then by the time we get to our 6:30 games tonight, we're talking about 40 degrees. So we will be on the chillier side of things. We also have a strong breeze coming out of our north that's going to help us feel just a touch cooler than what we're measuring. So it's rain this morning, but sun for your Sunday. Temperatures ranging in the mid and upper 40s both days this weekend. But take a look at first thing Sunday morning. Wake up temperatures in the upper 20s and low 30s. So if you do have outdoor pets or plants, make sure you go ahead and bring those in this weekend because it'll be a little too chilly outside for them. Alrighty, well, North Alabama and Southern Tennessee are trending much cooler for much of the rest of November than where we usually are, which means that we can expect these cold temperatures to stick around with us. And our 7-day forecast reflects that. When we wake up on Monday, we will yet again be in the 20s. We rebound with 2 days of high temperatures in the 50s, and then it is right back to the 40s we go. The good news is once the rain this morning does clear out, we'll have partly sunny skies today and plenty of sun for your Sunday. So even though it'll be a chilly weekend, it'll still be a sunny one for at least part of it.
The Big Apple is preparing for this year's Rockefeller Center tree. What state the tree's coming from this year? Coming up next. Alabama and Auburn are looking for bounce-back wins today. On the Plains, the Tigers are hosting Texas A&M. Both teams are on a 5-game losing streak. The Alabama Crimson Tide travels to Ole Miss. And the Miami Heat is searching for a new name after its arena, the current sponsor, declared bankruptcy. The team and Miami-Dade County announced Friday an end-to-naming rights deal with cryptocurrency leader FTX. The Heat's home was renamed FTX Arena in June of last year. The team says it's looking forward to identify a new naming rights partner. This year's massive Rockefeller Christmas tree is heading to the Big Apple. The tree was cut down in New York State and is 82 feet tall. The 90-year-old Norway spruce is on a 200-mile trek preparing for tourists next month. Grace?
Alrighty. Well, we are a little bit soggy and rainy this morning. Rain chances stay with us through breakfast time, and temperatures actually drop for us by the time we get to 9 a.m. We're talking about low 40s. Our high temperature for the day, Olivia, it's going to be a cool one. We're hanging out in the mid-40s.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it, and we're going to have a lot more with you